When you close your eyes, the city of your body lowers its lights. The streets quiet, the traffic thins. And somewhere, in the deepest districts, old lamps flicker on in a hidden workshop. Here, cells that seem so ordinary by day unroll their delicate blueprints and open tiny toolkits. It isn't sleep itself that repairs you. It's what sleep allows. This is the story of the night shift within you, a calm, methodical procession of small, precise acts. It is the story of microscopic stitches being woven into torn DNA, of tiny dents being smoothed in misshapen proteins, of accumulated trash being swept from crowded cellular corridors. It is the story of silent signals whispered from one cell to the next, a gentle, pervasive hum that says, "Now, begin." We'll drift with that signal tonight, following its path through your internal landscape. It starts in your eyes, in a specialized group of cells that don't care about shapes or colors. Their only concern is light itself, its presence, its absence, and its particular quality. When they sense the day fading, they send a message along a dedicated pathway, a nerve that travels to a clock tucked deep within the brain. This central timer, a cluster of neurons as small as a grain of rice, is nonetheless in charge of nearly everything in your body that has a rhythm. It is the master conductor of an immense, silent orchestra. And surrounding it, a vast constellation of little clocks waits patiently in the liver, the heart, the lungs, the skin, even in the wandering cells of your immune system. Each one is listening for the conductor's cue. Humans didn't build these clocks. They are an ancient inheritance, a biological heirloom passed down through countless generations. They grew from sunlight, from the turning of the planet, and from every single sunrise our distant ancestors ever saw. These internal mechanisms are tuned to the grand, celestial cycles of light and dark. They are profoundly wise, carrying the memory of eons within their molecular gears. At night, as the world outside grows still, they set the stage for the intricate repairs we are about to witness, coordinating a flurry of activity that is entirely hidden from our conscious minds. It is a masterpiece of biological engineering unfolding quietly within you every single night. But the workshop won't open without darkness. And not just the simple absence of light, but a specific quality of it, a deep, uninterrupted softness. Think of a clean night sky behind your eyelids, free from the sharp, blue-tinged sparks that flicker from our screens. When that profound darkness finally settles, a cascade of events is triggered. Tiny molecular gears align with an audible click, and a special messenger begins its journey, rising through your system like a quiet evening mist. It moves slowly, deliberately, carrying the essence of night on its back. This messenger is a hormone, a chemical courier with a very specific and vital task. It is the key that unlocks the workshop. And when it arrives at its destination, the small doors in countless cells begin to open, and the first of the dedicated repair crews step forward, ready to begin their work. This hormone has a name, and its release is governed by that master clock in the brain. Its journey through the body is our guide, leading us directly to the keeper of time itself. So let's follow it, and next we'll meet the tiny, magnificent clockmaker at the very center of it all. At the center of your head, just above the crossing of your optic nerves, sits a tiny yet powerful structure, the suprachiasmatic nucleus. We can call it the SCN. It's a small island of neurons that, quite literally, keeps time for your entire body. To understand its role, imagine it as the conductor of a vast and complex orchestra, raising a baton as the day fades into night, and then again as dawn breaks. This conductor doesn't rely on a written score. It listens to the world around you, primarily through the language of light. Specialized, light-sensitive cells in your eyes send direct, unfiltered messages to the SCN. These aren't the same cells you use to see shapes or colors. They possess a unique pigment called melanopsin, which is exceptionally good at telling the truth about daylight. How bright it is, how blue the sky is, and for how long the sun shines. The SCN receives this information, carefully listens, and then begins to shift its own internal gears. Once calibrated, it whispers precise instructions to the rest of the body. It's a subtle, constant communication, telling every organ, every system, eat now, be alert now. It is time to repair. This is the master clock, setting the tempo for the rhythms of life. When night is real, when the light becomes dim, consistent, and gentle, the SCN initiates the next phase of its daily symphony. It sends a specific signal, a quiet message, to the pineal gland, a small gland nestled deep within the brain. In response, slowly, melatonin begins to flow into your system. Now, melatonin is often misunderstood. It isn't a sedative that forces you to sleep. Think of it more as a timing cue. It's like a night bell ringing softly in a long hallway, its chime reaching every room, every cell, with a clear instruction. The day is done. It is time to clean up, to conserve energy, and to protect yourselves for the work ahead. Melatonin slips into your cells like a perfectly fitting key. Once inside, it performs several crucial tasks. It helps to quiet the day's biochemical sparks, highly reactive molecules, known as free radicals, that can scorch and damage your DNA. It speaks to the mitochondria, the tiny powerhouses inside each cell, helping to loosen their accumulated stress and quell their inflammatory leaks. It's a guardian, a protector that works under the cover of darkness. And by signaling the profound absence of light, melatonin encourages the entire body to begin the next great act of its nightly performance, a monumental shift from the doing of the day to the deep, essential repairing of the night. But the conductor, the SCN, doesn't lead this orchestra alone. It acts in beautiful synchrony with countless other clocks scattered throughout your body. Clock genes exist in almost every tissue in your liver, your muscles, your heart. These genes produce proteins in predictable, rhythmic cycles. They rise and fall, creating a breathing waveform of chemistry that mirrors the larger 24-hour cycle. The SCN synchronizes these peripheral clocks, ensuring they all follow the same beat. Together, this network of timekeepers aligns your metabolism, your core body temperature, your hormone release, and even the nightly patrols of your immune system. When the SCN's baton drops and darkness truly settles in, a second messenger rises in the quiet. This one doesn't just whisper. It actively restores and rebuilds. It travels on the waves of the deepest phases of sleep, a powerful pulse that touches almost every cell in your body that has the capacity to grow or to mend. It's the force that knits together torn muscle fibers, that shores up cellular defenses, that reinforces the connections in your brain. This is the restorative power of the dark, a nightly renewal orchestrated with breathtaking precision. As you drift into your first stretch of deep sleep, a quiet tide of growth hormone lifts through your bloodstream. Its timing matters. It peaks when you surrender to slow-wave sleep, the unhurried rhythm where brain waves roll like long ocean swells. This isn't the growth hormone of childhood spurts and growing pains. This is a nightly maintenance signal, a quiet permission slip for the body to begin its most important work. While you rest, this hormone helps patch tissues worn by the day's friction. It supports protein synthesis, the fundamental act of building and rebuilding your cellular world. It gently nudges fat reserves toward being used as fuel, providing the energy needed for these extensive repairs. And most importantly, it gives every cell the green light to rebuild. Its partner in this delicate operation, IGF-1, joins in a little later. Think of growth hormone as the project manager approving the budget and the timeline, while IGF-1 is the foreman on the ground, directing where all the new materials should go, ensuring every repair is precise and efficient. In the background, cortisol, the stress hormone that kept you alert and mobilized during the day, finally recedes. Its high levels from earlier slowly drop, allowing the entire worksite of your body to calm down. The noise of the day fades. The repairs begin. Inside your cells, another slow, deliberate switch flips. The frantic energy that powered your waking hours, the constant buzz of activity, is redirected. It flows away from outward action and toward internal maintenance. It's like a diligent shop owner finally locking the front door after a long day, turning the sign to closed, and then rolling up their sleeves to quietly fix what the day broke. This is a sacred internal time. During this period, enzymes that specialize in spotting and correcting small mistakes in your DNA become more active. They are the microscopic proofreaders, scanning the vast library of your genetic code for any typos or damage accumulated during the day. The very structure of your DNA becomes more accessible. The flexible spools called histones, which act as packing material around your genes, loosen just enough. This isn't a careless unraveling. It's a controlled opening, allowing the specialized repair crews to get in and do their work unimpeded. This entire process is encouraged by a simple molecule that has been building up all day while you've been awake: adenosine. It's the chemical messenger of sleep pressure, the one that makes your eyelids feel heavy. As you rest in darkness, adenosine's gentle lullaby deepens your slumber, and this, in turn, deepens the repair signal, creating a beautiful and self-reinforcing feedback loop. The deeper you sleep, the more you repair. The more you repair, the more restorative your sleep becomes. Yet your DNA is only one part of this intricate story. Proteins, the miniature machines that perform nearly every function in your body, also need meticulous attention. Throughout the day, these proteins are constantly working, folding, unfolding, and interacting. Many fold into precisely the right shape to do their job, but some, under the stress of daily life, can misfold. These misfolded proteins are like jammed gears in a complex machine. They can clog cellular pathways and disrupt normal function. As growth hormone opens the budget for repair, a special cast of helper molecules emerges to address this very problem. They are tasked with guiding weary and misshapen proteins back to their correct functional forms. They are called chaperones, and their work is as delicate and precise as folding origami in candlelight. They don't force the proteins into shape. They provide a stable, supportive environment, gently nudging and coaxing each molecule until it finds its natural, effective structure once again. This careful refolding prevents cellular clutter and ensures that the machinery of your body is ready for the demands of a new day. Each night, this silent, microscopic ballet of repair and restoration unfolds within you, a testament to the quiet intelligence of the sleeping body. Inside the fluid, bustling interior of your cells, proteins fold and unfold like intricate scarves, each crease and twist essential for its function. They are the workers, the messengers, the structural beams of your cellular city. But when the day is noisy, when heat, stress, and countless other disturbances ripple through your system, these delicate structures can crumple, losing their shape and with it, their purpose. They become tangled, ineffective, and can even clump together, causing blockages in the cellular machinery. At night, as the clamor of the day subsides, a special team begins its rounds. These are the chaperone proteins, molecular artisans like HSP70 and HSP90. They move through the crowded space of the cytoplasm like patient, meticulous tailors. With a gentle touch, they find the misfolded proteins. They test the tangles, probing the erroneous folds. Often, they can coax the protein back into its correct, functional form, carefully refolding it as if smoothing a precious fabric. It's a quiet, essential act of restoration. But some proteins are too damaged, too hopelessly knotted to be saved. In these cases, the chaperones perform a different kind of kindness. They tag the irreparable protein, marking it for a different destination. This mark is a signal, a gentle nudge towards the cell's recycling center. This process isn't about failure. It's about efficiency and grace, ensuring that the cellular environment remains clear and functional, preventing a buildup of useless clutter. The recycling center itself is a marvel of cellular engineering called the proteasome. Imagine a hollow, barrel-shaped chamber with a very specific purpose. It pulls in the tagged, damaged proteins one by one. Inside, these complex structures are not merely destroyed. They are methodically disassembled. The proteasome trims them down into their fundamental building blocks, useful amino acid pieces. The cell can then reuse these pieces tomorrow to build new, flawless proteins, saving precious energy and maintaining the highest standards of quality. While these cleanup processes do happen during the day, the night shift allows them to change their priorities and pace. With fewer distractions from incoming signals and metabolic demands, your cellular city can finally catch up on the backlog of repairs. Meanwhile, a second, more expansive kind of cleanup begins, operating on a larger scale. This process, known as autophagy or self-eating, is a thoughtful, deliberate form of internal housekeeping. It's not just about single proteins. Here, entire sections of the cell are cleared broken parts, worn-out organelles like old mitochondria, and even some viruses or bacteria that may have slipped past the gates. It's a profound act of renewal from within. During autophagy, delicate membranes begin to form, enveloping the old and the broken, creating a small sealed packet of cellular debris. This packet then travels through the cell until it fuses with a lysosome, the cell's digestive sac, filled with powerful enzymes. Within this fusion, the old parts are not just discarded. They are broken down and remade into new, usable components. Autophagy is not destruction for its own sake. It is a fundamental reset, a way for the cell to streamline its operations and rejuvenate itself. And at night, several signals converge to encourage this deep cleaning. The natural drop in insulin levels, the rise of the sleep hormone melatonin, and the general quieting of the body's metabolic furnace all act as triggers, giving the green light for autophagy to begin its work in earnest. In the brain, this careful cleanup helps clear away protein aggregates linked to cognitive decline, supporting sharper thinking and memory consolidation for the day to come. In your muscles, it keeps the fibers strong and responsive. In the liver, it makes room for the vital work of detoxification. It is a system-wide renewal, coordinated by the rhythm of sleep. But if chaperones in autophagy are the diligent janitors and tailors of the cell, there is another, more sacred room in this vast cellular building. A room where the power sometimes flickers, and the very walls themselves need patching. This room is the nucleus, the protected vault where your DNA, your fundamental blueprint, resides. And the specialized crews about to enter this space carry lanterns of a different kind, designed to find even the smallest crack in the code of life itself. Imagine your DNA as a magnificent spiral staircase, a library of life's instructions spelled out in a code of letters. By day, this structure endures a constant, quiet rain of tiny impacts. Sunlight, stray oxygen sparks from metabolism, chemicals from our environment, and even the normal wear and tear of cellular life. They all leave their mark. Most of this damage is minor, like tiny scratches on a grand edifice, but over time, every single nick and scuff matters. When night falls, a quiet, industrious period of renewal begins. The bustling activity of the day subsides, and crucial repair pathways get more room to work their magic. Think of it as different teams of highly specialized craftspeople. One team handles base excision repair. They move with precision, gently identifying and replacing a single damaged letter in the code, much like a carpenter swapping out a single scuffed floorboard without disturbing the rest of the structure. Then there's nucleotide excision repair. This team is called in for bigger jobs, like when UV radiation from the sun or certain toxins distort a section of the DNA strand. They don't just fix one letter. They cut out a small patch containing the error and meticulously rebuild it. Another team, responsible for mismatch repair, acts like a proofreader, scanning the DNA for typos that may have occurred during replication and correcting them before they become permanent. And what happens when the damage is severe, when breaks slice clean through both rails of the DNA ladder? The cell calls in the heavy-duty crews. The first option is homologous recombination. This is the gold standard repair, a careful and precise process that uses a clean, undamaged copy of the DNA as a template to perfectly reconstruct the broken segment. It's methodical and ensures the original code is restored without error. But sometimes, speed is of the essence. In those cases, the cell might use a quicker, more direct fix called non-homologous end joining. This process essentially glues the two broken ends back together. It's a faster patch-up, a pragmatic solution to bridge a dangerous gap, even if it sometimes means a small piece of the original information is lost. So where does melatonin, the hormone of darkness, fit into this intricate repair operation? It doesn't wield the tools itself. Instead, it acts as a calming force, a conductor orchestrating a more peaceful environment for the work to be done. Melatonin helps lower oxidative stress throughout the cell, essentially reducing the background noise and preventing new damage from occurring faster than the repair crews can keep up. It quiets the storm. At the same time, the chromatin, the complex structure of proteins and spools that compacts our vast length of DNA to fit inside a cell. S nucleus begins to relax in specific, targeted areas. This strategic loosening allows the repair enzymes to slide in and gain access to the damaged sites they need to reach. It is like unlocking specific doors in the library so the restorers can get to the right shelves. Another group of remarkable enzymes, the sirtuins, also stirs to life in the quiet of the night. These proteins act as cellular sensors, gauging the energy state of the cell. Their activity often peaks during darkness, especially when periods of fasting are aligned with the night, a practice that ancient biology seems to favor. Fueled by a molecule called NAD+, sirtuins get to work, subtly tweaking proteins and the histone spools around which DNA is wound. These adjustments help create a repair-friendly state in the chromatin, further enhancing the efficiency of the DNA mending process. It's a subtle and beautiful choreography. Less disruptive noise, better access for the workers, and precise timing, all synchronized with the planet's turning. But even perfectly repaired DNA is useless if the cell's power stations are sputtering. Mitochondria, the tiny organelles responsible for producing the energy currency of the cell, are the engines of life. As a natural byproduct of generating this energy, they also produce sparks-reactive oxygen species. In small amounts, these are manageable signals. But if they become uncontrolled, they can singe and damage everything around them, including the mitochondria themselves. Night offers a crucial period of respite. It's a chance for these power plants to cool down, to refit their components, and sometimes, for the oldest and most tired ones, to be honorably retired from service. What happens to a worn-out power plant when the rest of the city sleeps? It's scheduled for a visit from the night's most selective and efficient recycler. Within each of your cells, thousands of tiny powerhouses, the mitochondria, are in a constant state of activity. Think of them as microscopic furnaces. They take in the fuel you provide, oxygen and nutrients from the food you eat, and through a process similar to cellular breathing, they forge ATP, the universal energy currency that powers every action, every thought, every beat of your heart. But this intense process of energy creation isn't perfectly clean. As they work, mitochondria inevitably leak tiny, highly reactive molecules known as reactive oxygen species, or Ra, in small amounts. These ROC molecules act as signals, messengers that tell the cell to adapt and grow stronger. However, over time, an excess of these reactive sparks can cause cumulative damage, like rust forming on a machine. This is where the magic of the night comes in. As darkness falls and your body prepares for rest, the hormone melatonin begins to rise. Under its influence and with the reduced energy demands of sleep, your mitochondria slow their frantic pace. The leakage of RAS diminishes, and a crucial call for maintenance goes out across the cellular landscape. This nightly maintenance is a sophisticated, multi-layered process. For some mitochondria that are only lightly worn, it's a time for refurbishment. They are refreshed with new parts, their components replaced to restore them to peak efficiency. But others are simply too damaged, too worn out to be salvaged. The cell, in its profound wisdom, doesn't let this waste accumulate. It marks these exhausted mitochondria with special molecular tags. These tags are like a signal for a dedicated cleanup crew, which escorts the tired power plants to a specialized recycling process known as mitophagy. Mitophagy is essentially autophagy, the cell's general waste disposal system, but focused exclusively on these power plants. It's an elegant system of turnover that disassembles the old, dysfunctional mitochondria, salvaging their valuable components to build new, healthier ones. This ensures that the energy you produce tomorrow is cleaner, more efficient, and generated with less damaging byproduct. This nightly renewal is fundamental to cellular health, a quiet, methodical process that keeps your internal machinery running smoothly. Simultaneously, as the night deepens, your entire metabolism undergoes a significant shift. Since you're not constantly eating during sleep, the hormone insulin, which manages blood sugar, naturally drops. This dip in insulin signals a change in the cellular environment. In response, a crucial sensor of low energy, known as AMPK, begins to rise. The activation of AMPK is like a master switch flipping inside your cells, sending out a clear message. The time for building and spending is over. Now is the time to conserve, to repair, and to reuse. This signal directly influences another key pathway called mTOR. You can think of mTOR as the cell's primary construction manager, driving growth and building new structures. During the day, mTOR is highly active. But at night, under the influence of AMPK, the mTOR pathway softens its activity. This deliberate downshift allows the processes of autophagy and cellular cleaning to take center stage. This beautiful rhythmic seesaw between AMPK and mTOR, between breakdown and buildup, cycles continuously between day and night. When this natural rhythm is perfectly aligned with your sleep-wake cycle, your entire biology sings in harmony. And melatonin's role extends far beyond simply announcing the arrival of darkness. This remarkable hormone has a special affinity for mitochondria. It doesn't just send signals from afar. It travels directly into the powerhouses themselves. Once inside, it acts as a potent, localized antioxidant, neutralizing the reactive sparks of RAS right at their source. It also functions as a sophisticated signaling molecule within the mitochondria, fine-tuning their operations. Many of melatonin's profound health benefits originate right here, in this intimate relationship with your cellular furnaces. Quieter sparks, a smoother flow of electrons through the energy production chain, and calmer, more efficient power generation. But your body is not just an assembly of individual cells working in isolation. These cells are organized into tissues, and in the spaces between them, the debris of the day accumulates. This intercellular trash consists of bits of misshapen proteins, leftover metabolic byproducts, and the dissolved chemical whispers of today's thoughts and experiences. This is true throughout your body, but nowhere is this cleanup more critical than in the brain. The brain's wiring is incredibly dense and exquisitely delicate. The connections between neurons must be kept clear for information to flow freely. So, how does the night shift manage to carry away the waste that the day heaps up in this complex environment? For this monumental task, the brain relies on a unique system, a cleansing tide that rises and falls with a powerful, silent rhythm. This tide, however, only begins to flow when you surrender completely, when you descend into the deepest, most restorative stages of sleep. In the quiet space between your brain cells, there lies a narrow, invisible sea. It ebbs and flows, a silent ocean within. During the day, this space is tight, bustling with the electrical chatter of thoughts, feelings, and actions. But as you drift into deep sleep, a remarkable transformation occurs. The channels between your brain cells widen, almost as if opening large doors in a crowded theater to let a cool, cleansing wind sweep through the aisles. This wind is a fluid, clear as starlight, known as cerebrospinal fluid. It begins to wash through these newly expanded pathways, carrying away the metabolic debris of the day. This intricate process, a marvel of biological engineering, is called the glymphatic system. It's the brain's very own nighttime cleaning crew, working diligently while you rest. The day's relentless activity forces your neurons to fire, to connect, and to reshape themselves. This constant work generates byproducts, much like a busy city produces waste. Throughout your waking hours, a chemical called adenosine slowly accumulates in your brain. It acts like a gentle whisper, growing louder as the day wears on, murmuring the simple, insistent message, rest. When you finally heed its call, your neuronal firing slows down. The star-shaped cells known as astrocytes, which act as the brain's support staff, seem to collectively exhale. They relax their grip on the surrounding neurons just enough to expand the space between them by up to 60%. This is the moment the tide comes in. The cerebrospinal fluid moves, propelled not by some powerful pump, but by the gentle, rhythmic pulses of your own heartbeat and the slow, steady rhythm of your breath. So, what exactly is this fluid carrying away on its nightly journey? It's a collection of leftovers, fragments of used proteins, excess neurotransmitters that have finished their job, and other metabolic byproducts. Among these is a particularly notorious protein called amyloid beta. This is the sticky substance that, when it builds up, is linked to serious memory problems. The glymphatic system is especially effective at clearing it out. While this nightly wash doesn't single-handedly cure disease, it plays a critical role in maintaining the delicate balance of your brain's environment. Think of it as essential housekeeping. Without it, the clutter would accumulate, impairing the brain's function over time. The deeper your sleep, the stronger this cleansing tide becomes. A consistent sleep schedule, aligned with the natural cycle of light and dark, helps to deepen this process even further. The beauty of it is that it requires no conscious effort from you. In fact, it works best when your attention is turned inward, away from the external world. In that profound quiet, another set of cells gets to work. These are the microglia, the brain's immune gardeners. With the main traffic of neural activity slowed, they can survey the landscape with greater care. They move through the neural pathways, clipping away weak connections, pruning what's no longer needed, and soothing areas of inflammation. It's a delicate, precise process of maintenance and renewal. And as the brain cleanses itself, it also begins the crucial task of editing the day's memories. The important traces, the experiences and information that matter, are strengthened and consolidated. The unimportant details, the fleeting noise of the day, are allowed to soften and fade. This is why a good night's sleep can help you solve a problem or remember something more clearly. But memory isn't the only system that benefits from this nocturnal tide. Your immune system, which patrols the entire city of your body, also recalibrates its strategy during the night. When the light of day finally gives way to the darkness of night, how do your body's millions of tiny guardians decide where to stand watch and where to focus their efforts? They don't act randomly. They follow their own internal circadian orders. And as you sleep, they are about to shift their posts, preparing for a different kind of patrol. Did you know your immune system works in shifts, like a city's night watch? As daylight fades, a remarkable migration begins. Immune cells, those tiny guardians of your health, move in rhythms choreographed by your internal clock. During the day, Many of them patrol your bloodstream, on high alert, ready to rush to the site of a sudden scrape or exposure to a germ. They are the first responders, always on call. But as night falls, the strategy changes. Many of these cells leave the busy highways of your arteries and veins and head into your tissues, your organs, your skin, your lymph nodes. Here, they conduct a quieter, more meticulous inspection. Think of it as a deep tissue surveillance mission. The patrol is led by specialized units. Natural killer cells, the sentinels of your early defense system, sweep through the quiet tissues, surveying for any cells that have become infected or have started to go rogue. They are incredibly efficient, identifying and dealing with threats before they can escalate. Meanwhile, other key players, the T and B cells, use this downtime to consolidate what they've learned. These are the intelligence officers of your immune system. During the night, they refine their memory of recent encounters with pathogens. They fine-tune the antibodies and cellular responses, essentially studying the day's lessons to become smarter and more effective for future battles. This is how your immunity builds and strengthens over time. It's not just about fighting. It's about learning and preparing. This intricate dance is guided by a host of signals. Your brain's master clock, the SCN, sends out memos. The sleep hormone, melatonin, rises, acting like a dispatcher, directing traffic. Even the subtle drop in your body temperature helps guide this nightly patrol. Under these influences, the body's general state of alert softens. The pro-inflammatory signals that are useful for immediate daytime defense are dialed down, giving way to a period of restoration and recalibration. Your body wisely uses the night, not to wage constant, exhausting battles, but to reorganize its forces and prepare for the day ahead. This is why, when you have a fever, one of the most powerful feelings is an overwhelming sleepiness. That's your immune system executing a strategic retreat. It is pulling you out of commission, so it can redirect all available energy and resources to reorganizing its defenses and mounting a more effective counterattack. Sleep isn't a sign of surrender. It's a fundamental part of the battle plan. And this quiet, purposeful activity isn't just happening throughout your body. It's also taking place in the command center itself, your brain. Here, a unique type of immune cell called microglia are the night gardeners. Throughout the night, they are remarkably active, extending and retracting their delicate, branch-like arms. They probe the connections between your neurons, meticulously deciding what to keep and what to trim. This isn't a random deletion of memories. This nightly pruning sculpts your neural landscape, clearing out redundant or weak connections to keep your brain's circuits efficient and sharp. It doesn't erase who you are. It refines you. Simultaneously, deep within your bones, in the marrow, new immune cells are being born and trained. They develop under the calmer hormonal conditions of the night, away from the stressful signals of the day. This ensures a steady supply of fresh, well-prepared recruits. In your gut, another fascinating conversation is taking place. The vast population of immune cells lining your intestines communicates with the trillions of microbes living there. They spend the night distinguishing friend from foe, reinforcing the peaceful coexistence with beneficial bacteria, while maintaining a vigilant watch for any troublemakers. When sleep is fragmented or too short, this entire elegant system is thrown into disarray. The patrol routes get confused. The communication breaks down. Inflammation, which should be a temporary response, can start to creep upward and linger, creating a low-grade, chronic state of alert that can be damaging over time. But when sleep is consistent and deep, the immune tides gently ease back into their natural, powerful rhythm. Your city's defenses wake with sharper edges, calmer tempers, and a renewed readiness for whatever the new day brings. While these immune cells stand watch, other frontiers are also being repaired. These are the places where your body directly touches the outside world, your skin, and the lining of your gut. Throughout the day, These surfaces bear the brunt of environmental stress, from sunlight and friction on your skin to the complex foods you digest. They are your body's first line of defense, its physical walls. And at night, while the city sleeps, construction crews come out to rebuild these fences. If we could zoom down to these vital borders, we would witness a scene of quiet, intense industry. In the near silence, we would see skin cells climbing invisible ladders of collagen, laying down fresh bricks of keratin. In the gut, new cells would be replacing old ones, sealing the barrier to ensure its integrity. This nightly renewal is essential, ensuring your walls are strong and ready to face the wear and tear of another day. Throughout the day, your skin acts as a dedicated shield, tirelessly defending you from the quiet insults of the world. It stands firm against the relentless push of UV light, the persistent dryness of the air, and the constant friction from clothing and movement. These are the small battles it wages, moment by moment, to protect the world within. But when night falls, a profound transformation begins. The hustle of daytime defense gives way to a period of deep systemic restoration. Blood flow to the skin improves, bringing a fresh supply of oxygen and nutrients. Water, which may have been lost during the day, gently shifts back into the upper layers, rehydrating and plumping the surface. Deep within the cells, specific genes responsible for repair are switched on, activating the night shift. Collagen-building cells, the master weavers of your skin's structure, get to work, reinforcing the delicate matrix that gives your skin its firmness and resilience. Even the tiny, intricate bonds between skin cells known as tight junctions begin to tighten, meticulously restoring the barrier's seal against the outside world. This is a time of quiet recalibration, where even the microscopic mistakes in pigment are corrected and the tiny capillaries, which may have been inflamed, are allowed to cool and settle. A similar process of renewal unfolds deep within your gut. Think of the gut lining as another critical border, a dynamic interface where the outside world, in the form of food, meets your internal environment. Every meal you eat writes a note to your body, and the lining must be in pristine condition to interpret these messages correctly. To achieve this, the intestinal cells that form this barrier live remarkably brief but important lives. They are replaced with incredible frequency, a rapid turnover that ensures the fence remains clean, strong, and highly selective. The quiet cues of nighttime and the natural fasting period between your evening meal and breakfast provide the perfect window for this renewal. It's during this pause that stem cells, nestled at the base of the intestinal crypts, are given the signal to divide and produce a fresh new lining. Just like in the skin, the junctions between these new cells restore order and integrity, ensuring that only beneficial nutrients pass through while keeping unwanted substances out. As the external world of the gut quiets down, the internal language of repair and rebuilding gets louder, echoing through the silent passages. This essential border work is not a solitary effort. It depends heavily on the microbiome, that teeming, microscopic city of bacteria, archaea, and fungi residing in your gut. These countless organisms are not just passive inhabitants. They are active partners in your health, and they too obey the body's daily rhythms. They feed when you feed, and they rest when you rest. During the night, many of these microbial communities shift their metabolic outputs. They begin producing a different set of compounds, many of which are known to soothe inflammation and actively support the integrity of the gut lining. They are, in every sense, your microscopic companions in repair. Your skin also hosts its own unique microbiome. When nighttime arrives, the microenvironment of your skin changes. The ambient humidity often rises, and your skin's surface temperature drops slightly. These subtle shifts cause the microbial communities on your skin to adjust their own activities, creating a calmer surface environment that can help lower friction and reduce potential irritation. This is why gentle care at night is so effective. Simple cleansing rather than harsh scrubbing, supports these microscopic teams, allowing them to perform their restorative work without disruption. Beneath these vital borders of skin and gut lie the foundational structures of your body, your muscles and bones. They are the scaffolding and machinery that lift, carry, and move you through your day. And just like the surface barriers, they prefer to conduct their repairs when you are still and at rest. Deep within the muscle fibers, in the quiet moments between the pulses of contraction and relaxation, new cellular stitches are meticulously formed, repairing the microscopic tears incurred from daily exertion. This process strengthens the muscle, preparing it for the demands of the day to come. Bone, a living and dynamic tissue, also undergoes a similar cycle of breakdown and renewal, a process that is finely tuned during periods of rest to maintain its strength and density. But this raises a profound question. Who or what orchestrates this vast, coordinated effort? Who tells the skin to mend its fences, the gut to rebuild its lining, the muscle to stitch itself back together, and the bone to renew its structure? It's not a single commander, but a symphony of signals. It's a precisely timed hormonal pulse, a whisper from your very own genome, and an ancient, intricate clock ticking away within the cells themselves. We are about to step into that cellular workshop to understand the conductors of this nightly symphony of repair. Your body's fibers and framework, the muscles that move you, the bones that support you live by a fundamental rhythm, the balance between stress and rest. This isn't just about taking a break. It's about entering a profound state of biological reconstruction, a process that unfolds most powerfully while you sleep. Imagine your muscles after a day of activity. Whether from a deliberate workout or simply the demands of daily life, they are filled with microscopic tears. This isn't damage in a negative sense. It's a signal, an invitation for growth. As you drift into the early stages of deep sleep, your brain releases a crucial messenger, growth hormone. This hormone acts like a foreman on a construction site, gently nudging your cells to begin protein synthesis, the process of rebuilding and reinforcing muscle fibers. At the cellular level, a delicate dance takes place between two key regulators, AMPK and mTOR. During the day, AMPK is dominant, signaling for energy to be used. But at night, the balance shifts. With the fuel from your earlier meals providing the necessary building blocks, mTOR takes the lead, orchestrating the construction phase. This is when the real magic happens. In response to those microtears, specialized muscle stem cells, known as satellite cells, awaken from their dormant state. They divide and then fuse with the existing muscle fibers, not just patching the tears, but making the fibers thicker and stronger than before. Sleep is the quiet, essential time when this adaptation occurs. Simultaneously, your entire nervous system shifts gears. The sympathetic tone, your body's go signal, which keeps you alert and ready for action during the day, quiets down. In its place, the parasympathetic tone, the rest and repair signal, rises. This has tangible effects throughout your body. Your heart rate slows and blood flow is redistributed, diverted to tissues that need it most for repair. Inside your muscle cells, the frantic pulsing of calcium ions essential for contraction settles into a calm, steady state. In this tranquil internal environment, the protein filaments within your muscles can align themselves more cleanly and efficiently. Any oxidative damage, the molecular wear and tear caused by daily metabolic processes, is meticulously patched up. Your muscles aren't just resting. They are being methodically rebuilt, refined, and prepared for the next day's demands. This nocturnal renewal extends deep into your skeleton. Bones, which we might think of as static and unchanging, are in fact incredibly dynamic, living tissues. They are constantly being remodeled by two types of cells in a perpetual, elegant dance. Osteoclasts are the demolition crew, breaking down old or micro-damaged sections of bone. Following them are the osteoblasts, the construction crew, which build new, robust bone tissue in its place. This entire process is profoundly influenced by your body's internal circadian clock. As night falls, the balance of power shifts. The signals that promote bone building become more prominent, while the activity of the bone-breaking osteoclasts gently decreases. This shift aligns perfectly with the nightly dip in cortisol, the body's primary stress hormone. While you won't feel this change happening from one night to the next, over weeks and months, this silent nightly remodeling is what maintains the strength and integrity of your entire skeletal framework. It's a slow, steady process of renewal that ensures your bones can withstand the stresses of life. And what about the connective tissues, the tendons and ligaments that anchor muscle to bone and bone to bone? These are shy tissues with a sparse blood supply, which means they heal and adapt very slowly. Yet they too take advantage of the quiet hours of the night. During sleep, they meticulously lay down new strands of collagen, the primary protein that gives them their strength and resilience. This work is painstaking and requires a stable environment. The process works best when the tissues are not being suddenly stretched or pulled, which is precisely the condition provided by the stillness of sleep. Night after night, these collagen strands are arranged in a more orderly fashion, slowly and incrementally improving the resilience of your joints. But perhaps the most significant chemical repair shop in your body operates where most of the body's chemicals are processed, the liver. This incredible organ is the master of metabolism, detoxification, and energy storage, and it runs on its own strict timetable. When the rest of your biological city sleeps, the liver is bustling with activity. It's like a vast warehouse at the end of a busy day. The night shift comes on to clean up, restock the shelves, flush out waste from the pathways, and reset everything for the next day's operations. The day's molecular clutter byproducts of digestion, toxins, and metabolic waste is systematically sorted and neutralized. This raises a fascinating question. How does the liver, an internal organ, know that it's nighttime? And what exactly does it do with all the molecular debris accumulated throughout the day? The liver's clock is intricately tied to the central clock in your brain, but it also responds to its own local cues, like the timing of your meals. As it goes about its nocturnal duties, it performs a series of complex biochemical tasks that are absolutely essential for your overall health. It replenishes its stores of glycogen, the ready-access fuel for your muscles and brain. It synthesizes critical proteins and cholesterol, and it ramps up its detoxification enzymes, processing and clearing substances that would otherwise be harmful. So, while you lie still, your liver is performing a deep chemical cleanse, ensuring that your internal environment is pristine and ready for the challenges of a new day. In the quiet hours of the night, while you're deep in sleep, one of your body's most industrious organs begins its most important shift. This is the story of the liver, the quiet pharmacist, working tirelessly when the world around it has gone still. The liver, you see, listens closely to time. Deep within its cells, a collection of clock genes act as masterful conductors. They orchestrate a silent symphony, opening and closing access to hundreds of enzymes throughout the night. Members of the cytochrome P450 family, those elegant detoxification tools we rely on, wax and wane in rhythmic waves. As your gut rests and digestion slows, the liver shifts its focus from immediate processing to the critical tasks of clearing, repairing, and replenishing. Its first duty is housekeeping. It diligently breaks down the hormones that guided you through your day, clearing the slate and preparing new ones for the demands of tomorrow. It meticulously tags toxins and metabolic byproducts, marking them for removal so they don't accumulate. In this hushed factory, it also conjures up powerful antioxidants, chief among them glutathione, your body's master defender against cellular damage. It's also managing your energy reserves, carefully monitoring blood sugar and topping off your glycogen stores if they've dipped too low, ensuring you have the fuel you need to wake up refreshed. And if you They've given it a precious gift, a period of several hours without food. The liver can truly lean into its deepest cleaning protocols. It initiates a process called autophagy, a remarkable form of cellular recycling where older, worn-out components are broken down and repurposed. It cleans up stray fat droplets, preventing their buildup and maintaining metabolic flexibility. This nightly fast isn't just about resting the digestive system. It's about giving your liver the uninterrupted time it needs to perform these vital, rejuvenating functions. The gentle night signal of melatonin, the hormone of darkness, also reaches the liver, its touch subtly influencing the organ's operations. Melatonin doesn't just make you sleepy. It actively tweaks liver pathways, steering them toward enhanced antioxidant defense and promoting mitochondrial calm. This helps protect the liver's own cells from the stress of their hard work. At the same time, your core body temperature drops slightly, a gentle nudge that shifts enzymes into their optimal nighttime settings. Every element of the nocturnal environment cues the liver to begin its specialized work. All of this meticulous timing and coordination ensures that your metabolism for the coming day will be smoother, more efficient, and more resilient. But this internal timing is delicate, easily disrupted. A late-night meal, an evening glass of alcohol, or exposure to bright light from screens can throw the liver's internal clocks off beat. It's like asking a librarian to sort books while a loud party is happening in the next room. The signals get confused, the cleanup becomes less efficient, and the delicate balance is disturbed. But when your external environment aligns with the body's internal expectations, when the lights are dim, the house is quiet, and the air is cool, the liver's ancient rhythms can ring true, allowing it to perform its nightly magic unimpeded. And it's important to remember that the liver doesn't work in isolation. It maintains a constant, intimate dialogue with the trillions of microbes residing in your gut. This bustling community, your gut microbiome, produces a symphony of small messenger molecules, like short-chain fatty acids, that travel to the liver and help adjust its gene expression and immune tone. During the day, these signals might be about processing food, but at night, the conversation changes. The messages shift as different microbial populations become active. In the darkness, the peaceful, beneficial microbes talk softly, sending signals that support the liver's restorative work. This hints at a deeper, interconnected schedule. Your microbiome itself has a circadian rhythm, a daily cycle of activity and rest that mirrors your own. So what exactly do these microbes do while you sleep? How do their nocturnal activities contribute to the repair of your tissues, even those far from the gut? It seems that in the quiet of the night, a complex, coordinated effort is underway, linking your brain, your liver, and your gut in a dance of restoration, preparing you to face a new day. As you settle into sleep, your world shrinks to the quiet rhythms of your own body. The first to slow is your heart. Feel it now. Between each beat, a tiny, almost imperceptible interval stretches. This small pause is the signature of your parasympathetic nervous system taking the stage, a state often called rest and digest. The star of this show is the vagus nerve, whose fibers wander from your brainstem down to your heart, lungs, and gut, humming with a soothing electrical current. This isn't a forceful command. It's a permission slip. With this permission, your body can begin its crucial nighttime work. Blood, no longer needed for immediate action, can be rerouted to places that require repair. Inflammation, the body's response to daily wear and tear, can begin to recede. Your blood pressure dips, giving your blood vessels a much-needed rest from the pressures of the day. Your breathing follows suit, becoming a mirror to your heart's newfound tranquility. It deepens, slows, and finds a regular, steady pace. Each exhale is more than just a release of air. It gently nudges the vagus nerve, reinforcing the signal of calm that ripples through your entire system. This change in breathing has a profound chemical effect as well. Carbon dioxide levels in your blood drift into a range that optimizes oxygen delivery. This isn't just about getting more oxygen. It's about getting it precisely where it's needed most for cellular repair and rejuvenation. The gentle mechanical movement of your chest and diaphragm creates soft, rhythmic waves that travel through the fluid-filled channels in your brain. This process, known as glymphatic clearance, acts like a dishwasher for your brain, helping to flush out metabolic waste that has accumulated throughout the day. Your breath is literally helping to clean your mind. As these primary rhythms of heart and breath slow, another fundamental shift occurs. Your body temperature begins to drop. This dip is most pronounced at your core, and it serves as a powerful biological signal, an announcement to every cell that the time for housekeeping has arrived. Think of it as the town clock chiming, signaling the start of the night shift. This thermal cue works in concert with a carefully orchestrated hormonal symphony. Insulin levels decrease as you're not eating. Cortisol, the stress hormone that keeps you alert during the day, falls to its lowest point. Meanwhile, melatonin, the hormone of darkness, maintains a steady presence, weaving a biochemical lullaby that encourages deep, restorative rest. These body-wide metronomes, your heart, your breath, your temperature, are not independent events. They are interconnected, creating a highly predictable and stable internal environment. This stability is everything. Rhythms reduce chaos, and in the absence of chaos, order can emerge. And it is this order that allows for the remarkable precision of cellular repair. With the body's fundamental systems ticking along in a predictable, synchronized rhythm, the deeper layers of restoration can finally unlock. This is where the magic truly happens, where sleep begins to influence the very blueprint of your being. We're talking about changes to how your genes read the field of epigenetics. These are not changes to the genes themselves, but to the markers and tags that sit on top of your DNA, determining which genes are switched on and which are switched off. Overnight, your body is quietly retuning your cells for the demands of the coming day. So, what does it truly mean to reset your gene expression while you sleep? Imagine your DNA as an immense library of cookbooks, each gene a unique recipe for building and maintaining your body. During the day, you have dozens of recipes scattered across the kitchen counter, ready for immediate use. But overnight, the night crew comes in. They tidy up, put away the recipes you won't need tomorrow, and lay out the ones you will. This epigenetic housekeeping alters which recipes are open on the counter when you wake up. And some of the most critical enzymes responsible for these changes, the ones that add or remove those epigenetic marks, are molecular machines that literally listen for the sound of night. They are activated by the quiet, the dark, and the steady, rhythmic pulse of your sleeping body, ensuring that when morning comes, you are rebuilt, retuned, and ready. Imagine your DNA is a vast library filled with countless books of instructions. Each night, you don't rewrite these books. Instead, you decide which ones to open and read. This is where epigenetics comes in. Think of it as a sophisticated system of bookmarks and sticky notes chemical tags that tell your cells which genetic recipes to follow and which to ignore. And what orchestrates this nightly selection? A significant part of it is sleep and your internal circadian rhythm. They work together to reset many of these crucial epigenetic marks. One of the key players in this process is a family of proteins called sirtuins, with SIRT1 being a prominent member. These proteins are activated by a molecule called NAD+, which naturally increases during periods of fasting, a state our bodies often enter overnight. Sirtuins act like diligent librarians, moving through the shelves of your DNA. They carefully remove specific chemical tags, known as acetyl groups, from proteins that package your DNA. This action subtly tightens access to certain genes, much like closing a book you won't need for a while, which helps maintain cellular stability and order. At the same time, other enzymes are busy at work, adding or removing different tags on the histone proteins that spool your DNA. This process is like selectively loosening some books from their shelves to allow repair crews to access and fix any damage, while tightening others to reduce unnecessary genetic chatter. This nightly activity is governed by a master set of genes known as clock genes. You might have heard of them. Names like BMAL1, clock, purr, and cry. These genes operate in elegant feedback loops, with their activity rising and falling in a predictable rhythm over a 24-hour cycle. They are the conductors of your body's internal orchestra. Their influence extends far beyond simple timekeeping. They directly regulate your metabolism, the detoxification processes in your liver, the readiness of your immune system, and even the genes responsible for DNA repair. During the night, these clock gene loops shift their focus, prioritizing maintenance and restoration. They are essentially setting the stage for the next day, tuning your body's systems long before you even open your eyes. This synchronization runs deep, influencing even the tiny powerhouses within your cells, the mitochondria, which have their own genetic settings, fine-tuned by these daily rhythms. By aligning our sleep with the natural cycle of darkness, we help this grand orchestra play in perfect harmony, reducing the risk of metabolic errors and ensuring everything runs smoothly. The cumulative effect of this nightly epigenetic reset is profound. When you wake, your body is better prepared to face the day with steady, reliable energy. Your baseline level of inflammation is lower, creating a calmer internal environment. But the benefits aren't just physical. Your mind undergoes its own vital refresh. Memory consolidation is a key part of sleep's magic. It's an intricate editing process. During deep sleep, your brain works to stabilize factual information, strengthening the neural connections for things you've learned. Then, during REM sleep, it weaves these facts into the broader tapestry of your experience, linking them with emotions and existing knowledge. You awaken not just with a less cluttered mind, but with a richer, more meaningful understanding of your world. But building a strong memory isn't only about holding on to what's important. It's also about letting go of what isn't. This selective pruning is essential for mental clarity and efficiency. How do our brain cells decide which connections or synapses to reinforce and which ones to gently weaken? As we drift off to sleep, we enter a dreamlike workshop where these neural connections are meticulously tuned, refined, and sculpted for the day to come. Neurons don't chatter endlessly. They converse in bursts. During the day, as we learn and experience, many of our synapses, the tiny junctions between neurons, grow more active. They accumulate more receptors to handle the increased traffic of information, much like a busy intersection adding more lanes. This process builds up a kind of synaptic pressure. Then, as night falls and we drift into sleep, a remarkable reset occurs. The brain's overall synaptic strength scales back down. This idea is known as the synaptic homeostasis theory. It suggests that sleep is the brain's way of downshifting, of pruning away the weaker, less important connections made during the day. This cleanup allows the stronger, more significant connections to stand out, like clearing away underbrush to reveal a well-trodden path. It's not about erasing the day, but about refining it, ensuring that what truly matters is retained and strengthened. During the deepest phase of non-REM sleep, known as slow-wave sleep, this process gets a powerful boost. Large, synchronized brainwaves sweep rhythmically through the cortex. Think of these waves as carrying a kind of save file for the day's important memory traces. The hippocampus, which acts as the brain's temporary scratchpad for daily events, begins to replay the neural patterns from the day. This replay isn't just for show. It's a crucial dialogue between the hippocampus and the cortex. The cortex, our long-term storage facility, listens in and begins to integrate these new memories into its vast network of knowledge. It's how a fleeting experience starts to become a part of who we are. Following this deep consolidation, we transition into REM sleep, the stage most associated with dreaming. Here, the process takes another fascinating turn. REM sleep seems to be where the brain cross-links our newly consolidated memories with our emotional landscape. It's a form of emotional editing. The brain can revisit difficult or stressful events from the day, but in the unique neurochemical environment of REM sleep, it can lower the emotional charge around them. This allows us to process the experience without being overwhelmed by the feeling. At the same time, this stage fosters creativity, weaving together seemingly unrelated ideas and memories into novel combinations, which might be why we sometimes wake up with a solution to a problem that seemed unsolvable the day before. At the microscopic cellular level, the night shift is bustling with activity. Proteins are meticulously redistributed at the synapses. Some receptors are pulled back inside the neuron, while others are anchored more firmly in place, fine-tuning the strength of each connection. It's not just the neurons either. Supportive cells, like astrocytes and microglia, are also hard at work. They actively modulate the space and chemistry around the synapses, ensuring the environment is perfect for this delicate editing process. All of this intricate work occurs while the brain's overall metabolism is calmer, saving energy for the task at hand. And as we've seen, this is when the glymphatic tide flows most strongly, washing away the metabolic debris that accumulated during our waking hours. This nightly memory editing is, in essence, a form of repair of meaning. Each morning, you wake up and navigate your world with slightly clearer mental maps, with less noise and interference in the background. The benefits aren't just cognitive. The physical cells of your body benefit too. A well-rested brain has better executive control, which means less stress, fewer damaging cortisol surges, and smoother cellular repair cycles throughout the body. The mind edits, and the body heals. But we've spoken so far as if this nightly repair session is a guaranteed event. It isn't. The modern world is full of things that can disrupt this ancient rhythm. Light at night from our screens and cities, irregular sleep schedules, a late afternoon coffee, or an evening glass of alcohol, all of these can jostle the master clock that governs our sleep-wake cycle. So how does light, the most powerful of these cues, pull the strings so convincingly? The pathway begins in the eye, but not with the cells that see pictures. It starts with a special set of cells that do one thing. They detect the presence and intensity of light, sensing the steady, bright pulse of daytime. Their signal travels deep into the brain, directly to our central clock. To keep the repair shop's hours steady and reliable, we have to respect the power of light. Now, let's watch how a simple photon of light can inform the entire architecture of the night. Have you ever noticed that not all light feels the same? The crisp, bright light of early morning is vastly different from the soft, warm glow of a sunset. This isn't just a poetic observation. Your body perceives these differences in a very real, biological way. Blue-enriched light, which is abundant in morning sunlight and famously in our digital screens, has a powerful effect. It travels through our eyes and directly interacts with special cells in our retina containing a photopigment called melanopsin. These cells send a strong signal to our brain's master clock, the suprachiasmatic nucleus, or SCN, telling it to suppress the production of melatonin, our primary sleep hormone. In the morning, this is exactly what we want. This flood of blue light essentially anchors our internal clock, signaling loudly and clearly that the day has begun. It wakes us up, boosts our alertness, and sets the rhythm for the entire 24-hour cycle. The problem arises when we expose ourselves to this same type of light late at night. Staring at a phone or a laptop in the evening sends a confusing message to our brain. It's like telling your body's timekeeper that it's still midday, even when it's 10 o'clock at night. This confusion delays the crucial signals for rest and repair, shifting the natural rhythm of our hormones and making it harder to fall asleep. The workshop of our body, which should be preparing for its vital overnight maintenance, is instead kept in a state of daytime activity. Contrast this with the effects of dim, warm light in the evening. Think of the gentle hue of a candle, or a low-wattage incandescent bulb. This kind of light lacks the potent blue frequencies that suppress melatonin. As evening deepens and we surround ourselves with this softer illumination, our brain gets the correct signal. The day is ending, and it's time to prepare for sleep. Melatonin is allowed to rise naturally, gently nudging us toward rest. This transition is a critical part of our biological programming, a gradual descent into the restorative state of sleep. Once we're in bed, maintaining a truly dark environment is equally important. A dark bedroom keeps our melatonin levels steady throughout the night, which helps to guard the delicate feed-forward loops that deepen our sleep and move us through its various restorative stages. It's astonishing how sensitive our internal rhythms can be. Even the tiny, seemingly insignificant glows from charging indicators, the digital display on an alarm clock, or the sliver of a streetlight peeking through the curtains can be enough to disrupt this delicate process for some people. Our brains can register this light even through closed eyelids, interpreting it as a signal of dawn and potentially lightening our sleep or causing us to wake up prematurely. We often think of darkness as an absence, a void. But from a biological perspective, darkness is not empty at all. It is an active and essential input, just as crucial as light. It's the signal that gives our body permission to enter its profound state of nightly renewal, a time for cellular repair, memory consolidation, and hormonal regulation. Just as darkness is a signal for rest, morning light is a powerful form of medicine for our internal clock. Making a habit of stepping outside into natural daylight soon after waking up is one of the most effective things you can do to regulate your sleep-wake cycle. This morning light exposure essentially fixes your clock for the following night. It sets a clear starting point for the 24-hour rhythm, which in turn improves the timing of melatonin's release that evening, ensuring it arrives right on schedule to help you wind down. This consistency does more than just help you sleep better tonight. It has a cascading effect throughout your entire body. Our bodies aren't run by a single master clock in the brain. We have what are called peripheral clocks in virtually every organ and tissue, from our liver and muscles to our skin. Consistent light-dark cycles help to synchronize all these smaller clocks with the master SCN, aligning their individual schedules for repair and activity. When all our clocks are ticking in harmony, our entire system functions more efficiently. This understanding of light as a biological tool becomes incredibly valuable when life doesn't stick to a neat 9-to-5 schedule. For shift workers, frequent travelers, or anyone dealing with late nights, strategic light exposure can be a lifeline. The goal is to create coherence in your body's rhythms, even when the clock on the wall doesn't match your internal schedule. This means using bright light, whether from the sun or a specialized lamp, during your intended daytime hours to promote wakefulness. Conversely, it means creating strong, profound darkness during your intended nighttime to encourage sleep, no matter what time it actually is. It's about actively managing your light environment to provide your body with the clear, consistent cues it needs to function optimally. But light, as powerful as it is, isn't the only cue that sets our internal clocks. The timing and even the content of our meals have a profound influence, particularly on those peripheral clocks in our digestive system. Think about it. Eating a large, heavy meal late at night asks your liver, pancreas, and gut to stay open for business and go into digestive mode right when they are supposed to be shifting into their nightly cleaning and repair cycles. This creates a kind of internal jet lag where the clocks in your digestive organs are out of sync with the master clock in your brain. Then we add other layers of complexity. A late afternoon coffee introduces caffeine, a stimulant that blocks the receptors for sleep-inducing chemicals in the brain. An evening glass of wine might make you feel drowsy initially, but alcohol fragments sleep later in the night, disrupting the very architecture of our rest. So how do these daily choices interact and shape the quality of our body's all-important night shift? Have you ever thought of food as a clock? Not just for telling you it's lunchtime, but as a signal that programs your body's internal rhythms. When you eat a late-night meal, you're essentially sending a daytime message to your gut and your liver. This tells them to focus on digestion, pushing their essential cleanup and repair duties to a later, much shorter window. The result? A compressed, less effective nightly restoration. This is where the concept of time-restricted eating comes in. It's not about restrictive dieting or starving yourself. It's simply about giving your body a clear runway for its nighttime work. By finishing your last meal a few hours before you go to sleep, you create what we can call a nightly valley. In this valley, your insulin levels naturally fall, which is the green light for a crucial process called autophagy, your body's cellular recycling system, to begin its work. Think of it as allowing the cleaning crew to start their shift on time without being interrupted by a late delivery. Now, let's talk about one of the world's favorite stimulants, caffeine. We love it for its ability to sharpen our focus and wake us up. It does this by blocking a molecule called adenosine. Adenosine is your body's natural sleep pressure signal. It builds up throughout the day, creating that gentle, growing desire for rest. When you drink coffee or tea, caffeine sits in adenosine's parking spot, preventing it from signaling it's time to slow down. The catch is caffeine's staying power. It has a long half-life, meaning it can take many hours for your body to process just half of the amount you consumed. For some people, who are genetically slow metabolizers of caffeine, that afternoon cup can still be echoing in their system well into the night, effectively muting the sleep signals that should be lulling them to bed. Choosing to have your caffeine earlier in the day, or simply having less, is a powerful way to let adenosine do its job, allowing that natural sleep pressure to guide you into a restful night. Then there's alcohol. It often feels like a shortcut to sleep, a sedative that helps you unwind and drift off. But this is a deceptive piece. While alcohol might help you fall asleep faster, it fundamentally fragments your sleep architecture later in the night. It's particularly disruptive to REM sleep, the stage crucial for emotional regulation and memory consolidation. As your body metabolizes the alcohol, your sleep becomes lighter and choppier, leading to more nighttime awakenings. Furthermore, alcohol raises your sympathetic tone, your fight or flight response, even while you're asleep. Instead of your body being in a state of rest and digest, it's subtly on alert. Your liver, which should be in deep cleaning mode, is instead forced to prioritize processing the alcohol, a toxin. The end result is a night of lighter, less restorative sleep, leaving you feeling less refreshed and your body's repair work incomplete. Beyond these big three, other simple habits can profoundly influence your sleep. Heavy meals, very spicy foods, or drinking large amounts of fluid too close to bedtime can all disrupt your rest. They can raise your core body temperature and lead to discomfort or bathroom trips that wake you up. The alternative is simple: a balanced, moderately sized dinner enjoyed a bit earlier in the evening, with most of your hydration completed well before bed. Here's a counterintuitive tip that works with your biology: taking a warm bath about an hour or two before bed. As you step out of the bath and your skin begins to cool, it triggers a drop in your core body temperature. This drop is a powerful, natural signal to your brain that it's time for sleep, easing the transition into rest. It's important to remember that none of these are strict, unbreakable laws. They are invitations, opportunities to collaborate with your body's ancient, brilliant biology. Even small adjustments, when practiced consistently, can reshape the entire landscape of your nightly health. A slightly earlier dinner, one less cup of coffee in the afternoon. These are not sacrifices, but investments. And this nightly landscape, this terrain of rest and repair, ultimately influences the arc of a life. Every night of deep, effective restoration is a bet on a better tomorrow. Over weeks, months, and years, these quiet nights write their story on the process of aging itself. So, what does this nightly repair really mean for our longevity? For the health of our telomeres, those protective caps on our DNA? For the slow, creeping tide of chronic inflammation? For the energy and clarity of all your future mornings? Have you ever considered what aging truly is? It's not a single event, but an accumulation. A collection of small, almost imperceptible damages. Misfolded proteins, tiny inflammations that never entirely cooled. The slow, steady wear and tear of living. It's like a city that never fully cleans its streets. Over time, the debris piles up. But what if there was a way to slow this pileup? There is, and it's quieter than you might think. It's the partnership between sleep and our internal clock, our circadian rhythm. When these two are aligned, they create the perfect conditions for our body's cleanup crew to work efficiently, giving them more time and less interference. Think of it this way. Regular, sufficient sleep is strongly correlated with longer telomeres. Telomeres are the protective caps on the ends of our chromosomes, like the plastic tips on shoelaces. They prevent our genetic information from unraveling. Longer telomeres are a hallmark of cellular youth. The link isn't magic. It's simply good maintenance. When we sleep well, we experience less oxidative stress, the cellular equivalent of rust. This allows for steadier repair processes and calmer, more predictable hormone rhythms. The entire system runs smoother. During the deep stages of sleep, our body releases powerful pulses of growth hormone. This isn't just for growing taller when we're young. It's crucial for preserving lean muscle mass and bone density throughout our lives. It's our body's natural sculptor, maintaining our physical form. Then, as we transition into REM sleep and enjoy calm, uninterrupted nights, we reduce the slow, damaging creep of chronic cortisol. This stress hormone, when constantly elevated, accelerates the aging process. Good sleep keeps it in check. There's another process, a cellular housekeeping service called autophagy, that gets a major boost from this alignment. Autophagy is how our cells clear out old, damaged components. When we allow our bodies a period of fasting that aligns with the night, this process becomes incredibly efficient. It's like taking out the trash, allowing new, functional parts to be built. Within our cells, our mitochondria, the tiny power plants, are renewed through a specific type of autophagy, called microbiome. This ensures they supply cleaner, more efficient energy, reducing the production of damaging free radicals. Our immune cells also get a chance to reset, preventing that low-grade, smoldering inflammation from becoming our body's new, unhealthy baseline. Of course, none of this promises permanence. Aging is a natural part of life. But what this nightly maintenance does is shape the trajectory. It changes the slope of the curve. Night after night, our internal city sweeps its streets and oils its hinges. The benefit isn't from one perfect night of sleep, but from the cumulative effect of many. Life is uneven, and missed nights of sleep will happen. The good news is that the body is remarkably forgiving, especially when you consistently return to your rhythm. But longevity isn't just about the physical body. It's also about meaning, resilience, and our internal world. Sleep doesn't just repair tissue, it repairs our narrative. It's during sleep that our brains file away the day's experiences, allowing us to learn and adapt. It's where griefs can soften and joys can consolidate into lasting memories. Our ability to bounce back from life's challenges, our resilience, grows strongest where repair is steady and reliable. And so, as the night deepens, our tour of this incredible internal world is nearing its completion. But before the first light of dawn, there's one more frontier to explore, a frontier that glows with quiet importance. It spans from the surface of our skin to the marrow of our bones. It encompasses the whispers of hormones and the crackle of electrical signals in our brain. All of it, every single process, is tuned by a tiny, elegant cluster of genes that do one thing. They tell time. These are the clock genes we've mentioned before. Now, it's time to meet them properly as they stand in the control booth of the repair room, directing this nightly miracle of restoration. Inside almost every cell of your body, a tiny, elegant machine is ticking. It's a loop of special genes, often called clock genes. Imagine two of them, BMAL1 and clock, as a pair of master switches. When they come together, they flick on a series of other genes, including two crucial ones named purr and cry. As the day progresses, the proteins made from these purr and cry genes begin to accumulate. They rise like a slow tide within the cell. Once their levels are high enough, these purr and cry proteins do something remarkable. They start to inhibit the very pair that created them, BMAL1 and clock. This action effectively turns off the switch, closing the loop. This entire cycle, from activation to inhibition, takes about 24 hours to complete. It creates beautiful, rhythmic waves of genetic activity that ripple through your entire being, guiding everything from your metabolism and cellular repair processes to your mood and behavior. Think of it as an intricate molecular blueprint for your day. But these cellular clocks don't operate in isolation. They are deeply interconnected with a vast network of other genes, the ones responsible for the heavy lifting of maintaining your body. These are the genes that handle DNA repair, that build up your antioxidant defenses, that produce detoxification enzymes, and that ensure your proteins are folded correctly. This is the body's essential maintenance crew. Their work is timed with precision. At night, when the levels of purr and cry proteins are high and the sleep hormone melatonin circulates, many of these maintenance genes get their signal to begin their shift. This is when your body focuses inward on repair and restoration. Then, as morning approaches, light from the sunrise suppresses melatonin production. The cellular loops flip, and the focus of your body's activity shifts outward, preparing you for the demands of the day ahead. These individual or peripheral clocks in your organs and tissues can sometimes drift out of sync with the master clock in your brain, the SCN. This happens when they receive conflicting cues, like bright light late at night, a heavy meal just before bed, or an irregular sleep schedule. It's like different sections of an orchestra playing from slightly different sheet music. The result isn't just fatigue. It's a loss of coherence throughout the entire system, affecting everything from how well your liver detoxifies your blood to the integrity of your skin barrier and your ability to consolidate memories. When you take steps to realign these clocks, you're not just fighting off tiredness. You are restoring a fundamental harmony within your body, allowing every system to function in concert once more. The small choices you make each evening are like gentle levers acting on this vast and complex blueprint. Getting early morning daylight, maintaining consistent bedtimes, keeping your evenings dimly lit, and finishing your last meal a bit earlier, these are not drastic measures. They are small, consistent actions that, over time, can move heavy machinery with very little force. Each of these choices helps make the nightly repair shift run more smoothly, which in turn allows your days to feel more vibrant and focused. As we imagine dawn approaching in our story of the body, the cellular workshop begins to tidy itself. The tools of repair are put away. The doors to certain pathways are re-locked. Messages are sent out across the system to prepare for the reopening of the city for the business of the day. But before the morning crew takes over completely, there's a final, crucial handoff we should witness. It's the moment the repair crews pass the baton to the daytime teams, ensuring nothing is dropped in the transition. In the very first light of dawn, a new cascade of signals begins, at first soft and subtle, then growing clearer and more defined. Let's watch closely what happens in this delicate, powerful moment as night gracefully yields to day. As the first hints of dawn begin to lighten the sky, a fascinating process unfolds within you. In your eyes, specialized cells called melanopsin cells don't see shapes or colors, but they sense the mere presence of this new light. They send a clear, crisp signal to the suprachiasmatic nucleus, or SCN, your body's master clock. This is the signal for the night shift to end. Melatonin, the hormone of darkness, recedes like a gentle tide pulling away from the shore. In its place, cortisol begins to rise. Now, don't think of cortisol as just the stress hormone. Here, it's not a sudden jolt of panic. Instead, it rises gently, like scaffolding being erected for the day, mobilizing your energy stores and preparing your body for action. Your core body temperature starts to climb from its nighttime low. Your heartbeat quickens just a touch, and your breath naturally deepens, bringing in the fresh oxygen needed for the day ahead. Internally, the vast and intricate night crew is finishing its work. Imagine tiny DNA repair enzymes diligently filing their final reports, having spent the night mending the daily wear and tear on your genetic code. Molecular chaperones, the cell's quality control inspectors, release the last of the proteins they have carefully refolded back into their proper, functional shapes. The autophagy process, your cellular recycling system, has finished parceling out fresh, refurbished parts to where they are most needed. Your mitochondria, the powerhouses of your cells, had been tuned and trimmed overnight. Now they hum with a renewed, quiet confidence, ready to generate the energy you'll need. The glymphatic system, which has been washing your brain clean of metabolic waste, slows its tide. Your synapses, the connections between your brain cells, stand clean, reset, and ready to form new memories and thoughts. Even your immune patrols switch their routes, adapting their surveillance from a nighttime state to a daytime one. You are not rested by some unexplained magic. You are meticulously repaired by a biological method. This method is silent, it's patterned, and it is incredibly generous to those who honor it and make room for it each night. As you finally open your eyes, you're not just waking up. You are cueing the day's orchestra. All the systems that were just prepared are now lifting their instruments, ready to play the symphony of your day. The rhythm you established last night, the quality and duration of your sleep, will profoundly shape the performance they deliver today. It's a simple, elegant dance with nature. Embracing bright light in the morning helps set your clock, while dimming the lights at night signals that it's time to wind down. Finishing your meals early enough gives your liver the time it needs for its own crucial cleaning tasks. Creating a gentle wind-down routine, avoiding those bright blue sparks from screens after dusk, keeping your room cool, and sticking to a regular bedtime, these aren't just quaint suggestions. These small, consistent habits are like keys. Each one helps to unlock the door to your body's internal workshop. They don't perform the repairs themselves. Rather, they create the perfect conditions for your cells to do what they are brilliantly designed to do, to heal a little, every single night, so that you can live a lot, every single day. The work is done for you, by you. All you have to do is provide the time and the space. If you enjoyed this journey through the science of your body's nightly renewal, and you'd like more calm, science-filled stories to help you understand yourself and drift off to sleep, please subscribe to our channel, Hyposphere. Thank you for joining us tonight. We look forward to seeing you again soon.